YouTube family, what's good? Greetings, greetings. Yo, I wanted to talk about something today, and it's about a couple of things. The drought and the food issue. Let's talk about the drought, and let's talk about the drought a little bit more, right? So there's not the drought, but I want to talk about one in particular, and that's the one that's happening in Mississippi. Maybe not a drought per se, but a water crisis slash water shortage. So Jackson, Mississippi, right, which is 80% black, is having water problems. People are saying it's global warming, global climate issues, global cooling. You know what? I call bullshit. Whether you want to call it global this, global that, I call bullshit. And a couple of things we can do. We could blame the government, and we could chase after them with pitchforks and torches and stuff like that. Or we could do something about it, right? Now, the government's not going to do anything about it. And I'll tell you here how I know. This here is Moses West. Moses West has created the Moses West Foundation. And what it is he's an Army Ranger, former Army Ranger officer, got out, became a civilian, obviously, because he's out, and he created a phenomenal water machine. This is a modern day superhero. I'm not one to kiss people's ass or nothing like that, but I have to give credit where credit's due, because he's doing something that I can only dream to do myself. Provide water to humankind. Let's hear his story real quick, shall we?
I built something called an atmospheric water generator. And an atmospheric water generator is, we all know that there's only three sources of water on the earth. We've all learned it in science class. And there's three sources of water that exist on the earth. It's in a liquid, it's in a solid, and it's in a gas. And so the easy water that we drink every day, it comes from surface water, like Lake Michigan. What the water is doing is just the plant is getting warmer, so the water's starting to evaporate. And naturally, when the water evaporates, where does it go? It just goes into the air. If you have a glass of water in a room, it evaporates, it's in the air in the room. Many people here don't understand that the water that's in the atmosphere is so plentiful that we can use it. But you see this process every day. In the summer, when you sit at a table and you have a glass on the table and all your friends have a glass of lemonade or iced tea or cold beer or drinks, what you see is those glasses sweat. You see that. You see your air conditioner drip. Well, this is moisture that's being condensed out of the air. And so basically what I do is I've created a machine that does that, but it's on steroids. Condensing the moisture out of the atmosphere, what I've learned over the years, is a viable, energy-efficient source that can operate completely on renewable energy. On the island of Vieques in Puerto Rico, working with my foundation, we supplied enough water for 5,000 people to drink water. We were making water that far exceeded World Health Organization standards, far exceeded EPA standards. Right now, what I've been doing is I've been working with the military, and so they have it for their mobility needs. So when the military pulls into an area, one of the problems they had is that when you fly in water in a large military aircraft after a disaster, it takes up the entire plane because water is so heavy. With this technology, what it allows for the user to do is to have a system in place that produces the water as the people need it continuously, and it frees those planes up to do something else. You saw in Katrina that people were standing out, there were signs they needed water. If they had this machine during Hurricane Katrina, all they would have to do is pull it out, turn it on, and they would be producing water at that spot, at that time. So right now, today, in California, in these areas where they're running short of water, this is a technology that it has a place and a home right now today. I started doing this in 2012, doing my first steps of trying to tell everybody that the Chicken Little thing, that the sky was falling. And today, we've reached that place that I was talking about then. So I'm working with a town right now in Texas. It's called Sand Branch. This town, Sand Branch, it has absolutely no drinkable water. The water in the wells is even contaminated. So this is one of many towns, thousands of towns around the United States, that have lost their water supply or their water supply is contaminated as the planet warms up. So this technology operating in a higher temperature, high humidity environment has the capability to actually produce all of the water that these communities need. When I came up to Chicago, when I moved the process from Texas to here, there's a huge amount of support here for the Ukraine. And people kept asking me, said, will this work with the Ukraine? People kept sending me emails, what can you do for the Ukraine? And I said, oh, well, the machine, it'll work anywhere. I was watching and reading out some newscasts. And where was the place where everybody was huddling? They said they were huddling in the basements. And one of the things they always said about the basements was that the basements were dank, damp, and wet. If I put a system in a basement in the Ukraine, it's going to dry the basement out. It's going to prevent disease, mold in the air. It's going to make it extremely dry. The temperature is high enough in the basement to produce water year-round. What I'm interested in is I'm interested in supplying an entire neighborhood with water. I'm interested in making sure that the military will be able to push one of these out of a plane on a parachute to troops in the field. I'm interested in ensuring that the disenfranchised communities around the United States have access to this, and I think I've been one of the only crusaders for that.
So you hear that, right? You heard all that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop in the description box his information about the Moses West Foundation and where you can donate, right? This man is something that I strive to be every day. Something to that effect, you know? I mean, nobody's perfect. I'm not going to say anybody's perfect, but he's doing the best he can do. Those around him that are working with him are doing the best they can do to provide a viable, true, and helpful service to mankind and to human beings, right? Black, white, green, orange, it don't matter. Human beings. I'll tell you who doesn't have your better interest in mind. It is your government. I promise you that. I've worked for these motherfuckers for years, right? And innocently enough, I did my part. Those alongside me did their part. But they don't even give a fuck about us. Us in uniform, they don't give a fuck about. And that's proven with them not helping out the veterans, you know, getting out, shot up, mind all destroyed, and getting them their benefits, right? Appropriately. So I'm not even going to get into all that. This is about the water issue, especially what he mentioned at the end, to disenfranchise folks, right? Poor black folks ain't the only ones getting the bitter end of the stick. It's poor everybody. It's us that are not in the know like the rest of those government officials are. You know what I'm saying? We have to stop relying on those sons of bitches, because those motherfuckers don't want to see us do better. If they did, they would have packed this dude full of money. He wouldn't be relying on us to get anything. They wouldn't be saying, did you know that they tried to sabotage his machine time and time again? My thing is, I pray for this man. I'm donating to him. I pray for him. I just hope that nobody gets in his way, if you know what I'm talking about. Good people like that, you know what I'm saying? We know what the stories are. But we need to do everything we can to protect this man, protect our brother, donate to him, you know, do our part, right? If we don't have to build a machine, but we could support him and people like him to make sure that, you know, humanity gets a better day tomorrow, a good day today, stuff like that. All the good stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going back him. Tell me what you guys think. I'm going to drop, like I said, his information in the description box. Let's make sure that we get some clean water around.